That glass. Hello, welcome. My name is Linda Prezioso. This is Here's to Your Good Health, and welcome. Tonight I've got my dear friend Jean with us, Dr. Jean, and Getting Healthy with Dr. Jean. And you know, I'm all about getting healthy. I'm all about natural ways to take care of ourselves. And so I begged Jean, and she's gracious enough to come help me tonight. So welcome, Dr. Jean.
Thank you.
Good to have you here
to be
again. Yep. You know, Dr. Jean and I do a cooking show once a month. It's called Essential Health Cooking Show.
Very good.
Took me a month to remember what that was. And so we always, you know, she always makes good, yummy, healthy, wholesome recipes. They're called lean and green. Lean meaning a lean meat, and green meaning veggies. And very little carbs. The only carbs really in a lot of these is the carbs from the vegetables themselves. But not much bread. And she's a health coach for Optavia, which is a weight loss program. And she has lost well over 100 pounds. She lost 100, then she kind of stagnated for a little while, and now she's back on track. And how much have you lost this time?
I haven't weighed in this week, so I don't know.
How much do you think?
I don't know.
She's being coy. She's probably lost at least another 10,
At least another 10.
15 pounds. Yeah. I can tell in her face and in her legs.
She keeps telling me my legs are thinner.
Well, you know, we all carry our weight in different places. Mine's in my booty and my belly.
Mine's all over.
I would be a great Buddha if I was Buddhist, but I'm not. So that's out too.
Yep.
Anyway, Jean and I, we pal around a lot, and we do a lot of things together. And Jean is very busy in our community. She's very community oriented.
Yes.
She's part of the Rotary. She's part of two groups that I belong to. They're business groups. And what else do you belong to? I know you're active in the church. Oh, the chamber. Yes, she was the ambassador of the year for the chamber. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and my church. So I've got 5 organizations I'm active in.
Yeah. And then she's my friend, and that's a job all in
That's a
itself.
job all by itself.
It sure is. It sure is. I'm
one of my
telling you.
favorite jobs.
Oh, that's so sweet. So let's just talk a little bit about lean and green meals. Tell us where you get these ideas. Where do you go for recipes? What kind of spices do you use?
Well, there's not one answer to that. The Optavia has a Pinterest page that has tons of lean and green recipes on it. And every month we get 2 from the Culinary Institutes of America. So we know they're going to be good because they're developed there in the Culinary Institutes of America kitchens.
Really?
So, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
And those
we'll
are on the
think of
Pinterest page?
They're on the Pinterest page, yeah. And then I get a lot of recipes from Stacey Hawkins, who is the self-proclaimed queen of lean and green. She actually was a student at the Culinary Institutes of America. And one of their assignments was learning how to make these lean and green meals. So she learned about Optavia there. And she went on the program and actually lost over 100 pounds herself.
Oh, wow.
And when she graduated from the culinary school, rather than going to a restaurant or something like that, she decided to continue developing recipes and create her own business around lean and green meals. And she also has developed her own line of spices. So I use a lot of her spices. She goes around the world collecting spices and creating them and showing us that are on lean and green how to use the spices to really make things taste good. Because
Too much is not good, and not enough isn't good. It's got to be the right amount.
And it's got to be quality. Yeah. So I mean, you can make a lean and green meal very easily by taking a piece of chicken and bacon or whatever meat you want, and then opening up one of those bags of frozen vegetables and sticking it in the microwave. But it's not going to be like, oh, that was so good.
Right,
no.
right.
But if you add the spices to it, it's going to be. It makes all the difference in the world.
That's right.
Her daughter is in college, and she gave her some of the called Dash of Desperation
I have
it's a
that.
mixture. Is it good? It's a mixture of different spices that you can use, and she takes it to the cafeteria at school, and all of her friends want to eat with her, so they can borrow her dash of desperation to make the cafeteria food taste better.
Oh, yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, but I love her recipes are really good.
And she's free. She's online, but
Yeah.
she sends out recipes. Is it once a month or once a week?
Once a week.
Once a week. And some of them I make, and some of them don't sound good to me. But that's just me. But she usually sends out about 4 recipes, and of the 4, there's
yeah.
at least one that I want to try,
Yeah.
if not all 4.
It's you joined the recipe club.
Is that what I did?
And yeah, you did. And and every week you get 4 recipes from her. Yeah. And every Tuesday she also does a tip, of how to cook better and what instruments to use and stuff like that. So that's very helpful as well.
And Jean loves to cook, and she's a good cook, and I love it when Jean cooks because I get to eat.
Your
And
husband loves it when I cook too.
Yeah, we get to eat, and she cooks. She does the work, and we just eat. It's wonderful.
Yeah, well, both her recipes and the Lean and Green recipes from the Culinary Institutes are excellent, and I serve them when I have company. They don't know the difference, they
No,
and they always want the recipe. And,
Right,
So
right.
as long as they're happy,
Yeah.
I'm happy. When I have company, I want them to like what I cook.
Right.
And it keeps me. It's easier for me to keep on track too when I'm eating food that's delicious that I look forward to.
Right.
The hardest thing is when it's really good to not eat all 4 servings, because most of the recipes are for 4 servings. And I'm
Yeah.
only one person. So.
Right, yeah.
So I stick it all in the freezer right after I eat, so I'm not tempted to eat it again later on in the evening. Yeah.
Then you've got different meals you can just pop
Yes.
in the microwave.
Right,
so
I
that's
do.
good.
That's the good thing about it. I can.
And your new temporary roommate is, she's low carbs.
Yes.
She doesn't, I don't think she eats any bread and
No,
stuff.
she doesn't.
So, so you can cook for her. I'm
Yeah.
sure she appreciates it.
She cooks too. I came in the other day and my house smelled so good.
Oh.
I'm not used to having anybody in my house. It was so odd the first time I'd given her my code to my garage so she could get into the garage and not carry a key around. And she came while I was gone during the day. And when I pulled up in front of my house, there was this car in the driveway. I think, why is there a car in my driveway? And I went in the door and somebody was in the shower. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, I forgot she was coming. I was about to call the police.
See, I got to help her out. We help each other out. That's the thing we
but
do.
she's a good roommate. She's very.
I heard
hardly
she's
hear-
very easy to
very
live.
easy to get along with.
Yeah, she kind of keeps to herself and reads a lot, and
Yeah.
at least that's
She's
what
on the
Lisa
computer a
told me.
lot like I am. So yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah. She sits on one side of the table. I sit on the other side of the table. We're walking away on our computers.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I work on a computer all day, so last thing I want to do is work on a computer at night.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's it.
But she also coaches people on their. She coaches menopausal women on diet that will keep the symptoms of menopause
Right.
down.
Right.
So
So-
she's going to come on your show, right?
Next week.
Is it next week?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She told me she was coming on your show, but I don't know when.
Yep. Next week.
It'll be interesting to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, because I haven't really had a chance to sit down and talk to her.
She's brilliant.
Yeah,
She
it's
really is.
always with somebody else around, and I just wanted to have a one-on-one, so to speak.
One-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one.
You'll
yeah.
you'll enjoy getting to know her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Because,
good.
yeah, I've clicked real well with her. The first time I met her was on a Zoom call, and it was just almost instantaneous.
Well, she's trying to decide whether or not to move to Rocky Mount. So she's really exploring, visiting people, trying to find out what's in the area, what's already here. Whether the business plan she's working on will work here or not before she actually makes a decision
Right.
about moving here.
Yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
big deal. At 50-some years old, pick up from Florida and move to North Carolina. I hope she does, but she's got to make up that. She's
Yeah.
going to make her mind up herself on
Yeah.
that one. So that's
Yeah.
well, I am boycotting cooking this week. I'm just overwhelmed, and I've got too much on my plate, and something had to go. And so to the frozen food section went. And I'm just confessing to you because you all know I don't like frozen foods. I don't like processed foods. I like fresh home cooked meals, but sometimes you just got to have a break. And
You do.
I was, cooking for Bob in the morning before I went to work so he'd eat, and
Yeah.
going home and cooking after a long day, and and feeding the dogs and feeding the goats. I was feeding everybody.
Frozen meals, it's hard to find. Even though it's called healthy, whatever.
They're not.
They're not.
They're full of salt.
And my brother, his wife's on my program, and she is tired when she gets home from work, doesn't want to cook, so he doesn't really like to cook. So he was looking for frozen TV dinners that he could just heat up when she gets home from work, and here it is, And he said, "Can I do that?" And I said, "You can try." So I gave him the guidelines: how many calories, how many carbs, how many, how much fat, how much protein. I wrote it down for him. He called me on the phone. He screamed. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I can't find one TV dinner that meets these guidelines. It's got too many calories. It's got too much salt. It's got
You can find low calorie.
too many carbs.
You can
not
find
enough protein."
Right.
Yeah.
Low cal isn't hard, but the protein maybe you can do, but then the salt and the rest of it is.
Well, we found a few, maybe 4 or 5, that if you just added some protein to it, they were low enough in calories that you could add protein to it, just pure protein to it.
Well, you can get a rotisserie chicken. They got to be pretty healthy, right?
Yeah, you can have the rotisserie chicken, but he wanted the TV dinner. That was just the simplest thing he could think of that he could do.
Well, I'm right there with him.
Yeah.
I get it. But my son and his girlfriend are coming for the weekend, so I've got to cook again.
It's all right.
Well, it's going to be pretty simple.
You can have the leftovers from Friday morning, and
there you go. That'll get me through.
Get you through Friday. Right?
Well, we're going to have ham. I've got a ham in the freezer, and I'm going to make baked potatoes. That's as simple as it gets. And I'll have my daughter bring vegetables and salad, and we'll have fresh strawberries for dessert because it's strawberry
season. It is.
Yep, and they're for sale at the farmers market. So if y'all go to the farmers market, I'll be there Saturday. Not real super early, probably about 9:30 or 10.
I love when the farmers market's open.
I know it's open now. It's exciting. Yeah. It's pretty limited right now, but
yeah, there wasn't much there last weekend.
Did you go last week? Yes. What? Oh, I forget what to. Hello, this is Linda and Jean. How are you?
This is Robert. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Robert. Welcome to the show.
Okay, what is it about microwave food that bothers you?
It's not healthy. It's too much
Let me tell
salt. Too much salt.
Okay, I was in the TV appliance business for 28 years, okay?
You're in the what business?
I went to microwave oven school, okay?
Uh-huh.
A microwave oven is 20,000 cycles of radio waves. There's no radiation. There's none of that stuff you ever hear. It's a radio wave, okay?
Okay.
Secondly, it does not change the composition of food. What it does, it cooks the moisture
Right.
food, and the molecules of the water get going so fast that it gets hot, and it's the heat from the water that actually cooks the food.
That's right.
Okay? I just thought I'd tell you that.
Well, thank you. I'm not against a microwave. I'm against the frozen food that you buy to put in the microwave.
Yeah. Did you ever take spaghetti or maybe some mashed potatoes that you made, not pre-food, I mean food you make personally?
Right.
It seems to be a little dry.
Uh-huh.
And you put it in the microwave. Let me clue you in a little secret. If you take a teaspoon of water, mix it into the food, that would add the molecules of water back into the food, like old spaghetti, used spaghetti, and it will refresh the spaghetti or the mashed potatoes.
And it doesn't take very much water to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, just a teaspoon. Just a teaspoon. Just add a teaspoon of water to the mix, to whatever food you take out of the refrigerator, and if it looks a little dry to you, and it's not cooking properly, just take a teaspoon of water and just mix it with food and put a little moisture in the food, and when it cooks, the molecules of the water start rubbing together, and they
Rehydrates
get
it.
real hot. And it's that rubbing together that cooks the fiber of the food, and then the food comes out like it was just made.
It's just like a dry piece of bread. If you don't,
What?
if you take a piece of bread that's kind of dried out and just put
Yeah.
a wet paper towel around it, just the moisture, just that much moisture, just the wetness in the wet paper towel will refresh the bread, be like a fresh, just
Yeah.
coming out of the oven
Yeah.
hot bread. Yeah,
Yeah.
it rehydrates
Well,
it.
I'll tell you what I use. I use a Coke bottle, and I use those little sprinklers you used to be able to put in the top of the Coke bottle that when you're on an ironing board, you
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
sprinkle
remember
Yeah.
those.
water on
Where
the
do you-
clothes.
Uh-huh.
Do that to that piece of bread.
Okay, yeah, that would work.
That would work too.
It'll come out of the microwave like it's freshly baked.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Where do you get that
Yeah.
that sprinkle thing? Is it something you've had for a long time?
Well, I got mine at a hardware store.
Recently? I mean, like, can I go to Ace Hardware and get one?
I guess so. That's where I got mine.
Wow.
I got
didn't know you
mine
could still
about
get
5
them.
years ago.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much for calling, Robert, and thanks for that information. It's good.
Okay.
Appreciate
Now,
it.
I've worked in 2 TV stations.
Uh-huh.
I was maintenance tech, and I had my own TV appliance store in Binghamton, New York, for 28 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, I know refrigeration. I know how to repair a freezer, washer, dryer, dishwasher, on and on and on.
Awesome. So I can give you a buzz when I need something repaired.
Right, and remember, I'm 76 years old, and I've been around,
All right.
so I know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
All right.
sir. That's sweet.
If you sprinkle a little, to get one of them sprinkler heads, those little sprinkler heads that had a cork that would pop into the top of a Coke bottle,
Uh-huh.
and you take and like dry piece of bread or dry food, just
Yep.
sprinkle a little water. You could do it with a spoon. Just sprinkle a little water with the food, especially the piece of bread, and it'll come out like it was just baked.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Well, you have a happy
Hey.
Easter, Robert.
You too, ma'am.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye bye.
I never know what I'm supposed to.
There you go.
There we go. I'm whispering to myself because I never know how to do this daggone phone. All right, it's time for our first break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Dr. Jean some more about healthy eating, and maybe she can get me back on track in my kitchen because I am anti-kitchen these days. So don't go away, and we'll be right back with more of Here's Good Health. Hang on.
Care needs for elderly or disabled loved ones, families want compassionate, comforting care. That's Tender Touch Home Care Services' goal, providing the level of care we would expect for our own. With over 10 years of home care excellence, Tender Touch provides an array of services that keeps your loved one at home. From personal care, light housekeeping, errands, and meal preparation, to our private duty care program, which combines all of our home care offerings in one package.
Tender Touch Home Care Services, where your needs are our concern.
Hello, hello, welcome back. This is Here's Your Good Health. My name is Linda Prezioso, and this is my friend and co-host, Dr. Jean White, and we're talking about healthy foods and why you should eat them and how you can move and eat healthy and feel better. And I've been confessing to all of you who, because you know I'm always on my bandwagon about eating healthy and eating properly, and I'm on strike in the kitchen. So I'm hoping Dr. Jean can encourage me to get back behind the frying pan.
Frying pan?
Well, that was just an expression.
We're laughing because frying is not the best way to
Right.
cook healthy food.
That's right, that's right.
That's right.
And you
yeah.
know what, I really don't fry anything.
No,
I don't
I-
like fried foods.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
I don't. Once in a while, I might eat a piece of fried flounder if I go out or something, but I don't fry at home.
Yeah. Well, actually, the studies show that the slower a food is cooked, the more ingredients are kept in the food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so therefore, the healthier it is to eat. And you never fry if you can if you can avoid it, because of the extra fat. And most of the things you fry things in are because they have a high smoke temperature. They
Yeah.
can get really hot before they start
Right.
smoking.
Right.
The healthier oils have lower smoke
Right.
temperatures.
So
So
you-
you put it in there and it smokes up the whole
Right.
kitchen, and the
That's
fire
right.
alarm goes off
right.
and it gets sprinkled and
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, that's another reason why the fried stuff. And there's a big debate about whether or not grilled food is healthy for you. Depends on whether you're cooking with gas or charcoal.
Which is better?
Gas.
Okay, I have a gas grill.
Yeah.
Charcoal
So-
tastes better, though.
It does. Yeah.
I love the taste of charcoal, but.
But yeah, you don't want to eat food that's carcinogenic. So
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm big on
yeah.
carcinogens, and I
So-
won't even have candles unless there's soy
That's
or
right.
beeswax.
So crock pots are good because they cook over like 12 hours, depending on what you're cooking. And I like crock pots because you can put it on in the morning when you come home at night. You can smell the dinner when you walk in the door, and it's ready to serve. You don't have
Yeah,
to cook.
I need to get one. I've got a crock pot in my my Instapot, but it only cooks for 6 hours.
Yeah, you need one that'll cook longer than that.
So I was out over the last weekend and went to a couple of the cheaper places trying to find one, Ollie's and Big Lots, and they didn't have them.
And it doesn't really require a lot of preparation time ahead of time. And you can just usually put the meat right in there with some. What depends on what it is. If you want to put chicken broth or beef broth or whatever in there, and your vegetables in there. Especially the root vegetables, because they take longer.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
vegetables that cook quicker, you just stick in there when you get home,
Right.
because it won't take very long for them to cook. So there's not a lot of preparation time. You just do it like you can put it in the night before and stick the pot part of it, not the
Right.
cooking part, but
In
the
the
pot part in the
refrigerator.
refrigerator. Just take it out in the morning and put it in the crock pot and turn it on.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of preparation. So that would be the easiest thing for you to do when you're stressed out and don't feel like you want to cook. Is
But
to-
then I'd have to put food in the pot.
you would, but you don't have to do any prep to the food.
That's right. Dump it in and
Just dump
off
it in,
you go.
put your seasonings in,
Yeah.
And cooking in beef broth or chicken broth, especially if it's low sodium, it's going to add a lot of flavor to the food all by itself, even without other types of
Yeah.
spices.
Yeah.
But
I just need
you can
to.
cook a delicious meal in the crock pot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The crock pot I had and why I got rid of it is because it didn't come out of the cooking thing.
I
It
would
was
like
a
that.
bugaboo to clean.
Yeah, then you can't prepare the night before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sold that at a garage sale, and I haven't ever replaced it, but I'm kind of wanting to get back into the crock pot, so I'll be
Yeah,
I'll be
that's-
looking.
That's the best thing for people that are busy and stressed out and just don't
Yeah.
want to have to
Yeah.
think about
I
sauteing
suppose
something.
I
or-
should just order one off of Amazon.
You can order it off of Amazon real
Yeah.
easily, yeah.
Yeah, but they had one. I think Jet was
Did
talking
you look
about.
at Rose's?
I did not. They have one that has a timer that you can put on your.
Yes.
But I looked at Walmart for that, and I couldn't find it.
I haven't seen one, but I've heard about them.
Yeah.
And I've seen them on Amazon,
Oh, I
so
okay.
you can find one on
Yeah,
Amazon with a
yeah.
timer on it.
So what are you gonna cook Friday?
I'm not sure. I'm thinking about making an almond crusted chicken. Doesn't that sound good? Yeah,
Does sound good.
yeah.
Yeah. I got lots of almonds.
Do you?
Yeah, I got lots of almonds. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know.
I was going to make, I
I got
can't remember
too
what else
much
I was
on my
going to make.
brain.
I had something else I was going to make too, but broccoli salad.
I love a broccoli
I do
salad.
too, yeah.
course, I love it with the sweet
I
sugary
love it.
stuff.
I like it with the raisins.
Yes.
A few raisins will be okay, right?
I got lots of raisins too.
You don't want to use too many raisins because
No.
those are so concentrated in sugar.
I know,
Yeah.
they are, they are.
But it's a holiday, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I had a good spinach salad today. It had both spinach and arugula, and it had walnuts and dried cherries and blueberries. And I like fruit in my salad
Yeah,
sometimes.
I always have. Yeah,
That's,
fruit and nuts.
that's me, nutty.
Fruit and nuts. I love
Yeah.
both of them in there.
Yeah. So, how much, so tell me a meal, like you were talking about your brother that was trying to find the right amount of protein, the right amount of fat. So give me those proportions.
Oh, I don't have them memorized. I have them written down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but we try to balance protein and carbohydrates. So we're getting the same amount and just adding the healthy fat to it, but not too much healthy fat. And we try to keep it down to 200 calories or so. Yeah.
For a meal?
Yeah.
That's not a lot of calories.
But you're eating 6 times a day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You were trying to keep small meals 6 times a day to keep your blood sugar even and your insulin down.
Right. That's what I was going
And
to
your
talk
hunger
about.
away.
And I know Optavia does not promote this. They do not say this, but I have noticed that my patients that are on the Optavia and they do what they're supposed to do, and there's different there's different plans for Optavia. Used to be it was you ate these fuelings and it was 1 meal a day, and that's changed some, and we'll talk about that. But a few of my patients that have been with Jean and weight loss with them, their hemoglobin A1C went back down to normal
Yep.
because they're eating right. It's not Optavia, it's
It's
eating.
because they're eating right. It's not Optavia itself. It's just because they lost the weight and they're eating
Right,
healthy.
right.
So, but Optavia is a healthy diet, and it does balance the blood sugars.
Right.
It's based on, that's the whole basis of the diet is making your blood sugars even and keeping your insulin levels down, because insulin makes you hold weight. You don't want that. You want to lose that weight forever. So, yeah, keeping the insulin levels down and keeping your blood sugar levels even is the
So-
basis of the whole diet.
so-
But so far, all my clients that I've had that have called me and said, my doctor told me that I have to go on medicine if I don't lose weight because my blood sugars are too high and I'm pre-diabetic, you know. Or they call me and say, I hate metformin. I hate how it makes me feel. I don't want to take it anymore. Can you help me lose weight so I can get off the metformin? Every one of my patients that have done that has gotten off the medicine. I've not had any of them that haven't. And the ones that were pre-diabetic didn't have to go on the medicine because their A1C was normal.
Right.
So I have a 100% success rate so far. That doesn't mean that I will always have a 100. I'll
But-
come across
but
somebody
tonight
that doesn't.
she does.
But tonight I have a 100%
That's
success rate with diabetics.
So,
Yeah, pre-diabetics.
so let's go over the different plans. Tell us the different plans with Optavia.
There are the most common one is the 5-in-1, which you were talking about, which is eating 1 meal a day that you cook, and then 5 meals a day are what we call fuelings from the company, and they are dehydrated, and they're prepackaged. You just add water to them and put them in the microwave for a minute and eat them. Some of them are bars. You don't have to do anything but eat those, and the shakes you just add water and shake it up and eat those. So it's very simple. It doesn't require a lot of preparation time. And carry it with you where you go. Most places you go, you have access to a microwave to cook. So, and there's a variety. There's like 60 different things, brownies and soups and pastas and just a lot of variety of things. Yeah. So you eat 5 of those a day, and the 1 meal that you cook, and you eat that until you get to your healthy weight, and then we start transitioning you onto eating none of the dried food, but the regular foods. And we do that by reinstituting some of the things we took you off of to begin with. Like we ask you not to eat fruit because fruit's so concentrated with sugar. Not that fruit's bad for you, but when you're trying to lose weight, it's not good for you.
Right,
right.
right.
And bread, you know, we basically what we're doing is transitioning you onto a Mediterranean diet. That's the basis of the final plan. So we want you to know how those foods affect you. Everybody's individual.
Right.
So you pick something, like you might say, I'm craving fruit, so can I make fruit the first thing? So we put you on fruit. And we see how you, after a week, what happens to you, Do you feel good? You maintained your weight, no problems? Fruit's fine, let's keep on doing the fruit. But if 3 days into it, you're just feeling bloated and cramping, your stomach's cramping, and all that, fruit's not real good for you, So you might want to limit the amount of fruit that you can't ever have it, but it's limited. Same thing with the bread. You start eating bread, and the next day your face is all swollen up, You might be sensitive to gluten, and you didn't know it, So that's kind of what we're doing, is trying to introduce a different thing each time and individualize your plan for the rest of your life.
Right.
So that you're going to maintain that weight loss and that healthy diet that's healthy for you, individualized for you at the end.
Right.
So that's the gold standard of all the plans. The one that I always start with, if that's what my client says they're willing to try, because that's the one that I think works the best. But we also have a plan where, we have a lot of different plans for people with different specific problems, and I wouldn't go into all of those. But for just weight loss, I have one that's a calorie plan where I calculate how many calories you need for your healthy weight. Because if your healthy weight, you need 1,600 calories to keep that, to maintain that 1,600 calories to maintain that healthy weight. And it's only going to support that healthy weight.
Right.
So say your healthy weight is 140 pounds. Your healthy weight is 140 pounds, and 1,600 calories is your calories to maintain that. And you now weigh 200 pounds. It's only going to support 1,600 calories, that 140 pounds. So you're going to lose weight from 200 down to 140, and you'll stop losing weight and get to 140. So what I usually do is put you on instead of 1,600, I'll put you on like a 1,200 or a 1,400 calorie diet, so that you're going to lose down to that, because the closer you get to your weight, the harder it is to lose it. And you're never going to lose that extra 10 pounds if you're not below that. And then I'll bump you back up to your weight. And on that one, you cook 3 meals a day, and you eat the supplements, the dehydrated things, in between meals. And then we take you off of those at the end.
Right.
And then I have one where I can just give you some options to choose a carbohydrate, a protein, and a fat 6 times a day. And just put together the meal that you want. And it doesn't cost anything for that.
That's probably what I'd have to do.
But it's a slower weight loss. But if you maintain it, you're going to lose half pound to a pound a week on it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that losing weight it's not your taste buds, it's not this, it's up here.
It's up here. 80% is up here. 20% is what you eat. And most people give 80% of their attention to what they eat and 20% to what's up here, if they do this at all. But really, you really need to put more attention up here. You need to put together a plan. You need a team of people around you supporting you when you're trying to lose weight and get healthy. And you need 5 people. You need a mentor. A mentor is somebody who has knowledge, can give you the information that you need, can give you good advice. It doesn't have to necessarily be a person. Like for me, it could be Optavia, because they're the ones giving me the information that I need. You need a coach. And your coach is the person who's going to help you set goals and milestones that you want to reach. And is going to be there to celebrate with you when you reach them. And if you didn't, they're not going to berate you because you didn't reach your goal.
Right.
They're going to say, well, what happened? What was missing? What can we do different this week so that you can reach that goal this week? So you need a coach to do that.
Right.
Then the third person on your team would be a peer. Somebody else that's doing this, the same program you're doing, that you can commiserate with.
Right, right.
You know, so you're not doing it alone. You can call, what are you having for dinner tonight? Or I'm going to this party Friday night and I want you to come with me so we can keep each other on track. You
Yeah,
know, so I'm
yeah.
not the only one there that's not drinking alcohol or that's,
Right, right.
you know, that's not eating that cheesecake or whatever. You know, so yeah, somebody that's up here in what you're doing. Then you need a cheerleader. You know, that person that jet tattoo.
Yes.
You know, that has
Yes.
the energy, you know,
Yes.
and can say, yes, that's great. You lost a half a pound. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I know.
Oh my goodness, you didn't lose any weight this week, but you went to 2 parties and a wedding, and you didn't lose any
Right,
weight. You
right,
didn't gain
yeah,
any, but
yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
gain any weight. I'm so proud of you. You know, that person has more energy than I'll ever have when they first wake up in the morning, right? So you need that person on your team, and then you need a really good friend. Yeah, somebody that knows you and knows what you're capable of, knows that you can do this and believes in you. Somebody that you can tell them what you're really thinking, you can be yourself. You can tell them what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you've done, what you're thinking about doing. And no matter how mucky it is, no matter how ugly it is, you're still going to be loved and you're still going to be supported.
Right.
You need that.
Yeah, we all need that.
Yeah. So if you have those 5 people on your team, and standing behind you and walking with you through this journey,
You're going to
be successful. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jet's in Jamaica.
I know.
Good for her.
She didn't take me with her.
I know. She went with her husband. What's up with that? Jeez. Well, they're newlyweds.
Yeah,
They ain't
they
been
are.
married like I've been married all my life, practically. I think I was 5 when I got married. I don't know, but.
The pictures are beautiful. See your Facebook page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't looked. All right, it's time for our next break, and so when we come back, we're going to maybe talk about something a little bit more serious. I don't know. We haven't, really gotten it together. We're just here. So give us a call, 407-1111. We'd love to hear from you and your challenges. Who is on kitchen strike besides me, or who is loving the warm weather and going outside and walking around City Lake? Give us a call, 407-1111. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
When faced with special care needs for elderly or disabled loved ones, families want compassionate, comforting care. That's Tender Touch Home Care Services' goal, providing the level of care we would expect for our own. With over 10 years of home care excellence, Tender Touch provides an array of services that keeps your loved one at home. From personal care, light housekeeping, errands, and meal preparation, to our private duty care program, which combines all of our home care offerings in one package.
Tender Touch Home Care Services, where your needs are our concern.
Hey, welcome back. Here we are, back again,
Yeah.
waiting for somebody to call us. But in the interim, who knows the history of City Lake? Who knows who dug that lake? Jean was just telling me that the Rotary was responsible for putting it together,
The plant together, yeah.
planting it and that
Yeah,
kind of thing, and probably landscaping. And somebody out there knows this, and my husband knows it, but he's at a Passover dinner tonight, so I can't even call him. I don't want to bother him. But there was a group of people that the federal government sponsored or paid workers to do during the Depression, and they would go and do projects in towns where whatever was needed. And that's how City Lake was dug, by that Depression era group of people. I don't remember what the name of it is, but somebody out there knows. What about my 77-year-old friend who knows all about microwaves? Do you know the answer to that question? Oh. Hello, this is Linda and Jean. Is this Robert?
Yeah, this is Robert.
Hey.
Tell your friend next to you there how I went from 266 down to 206 for the last 5 years.
That's
I
wonderful.
told you about
You
no
to- you
greases,
told
no
me
fried
last-
foods, no oil, everything cooked in water or milk.
Say that again.
No fast food restaurants,
Right.
no fried chicken, none of that. I
Right.
cook my food in water.
Mm-hmm.
When I make scrambled eggs, if you put a dash of milk in the
Right.
scrambled eggs, it'll expand the size of the egg.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will.
And that's all I eat. I eat oodles and noodles, one egg or one sausage, or a bowl of cereal, and then I have small portions about the size of an ice cream scoop for dinner.
Hmm.
And the last 5 years, I went from 266 down to 206. I've been
Congratulations
sitting there
to
for the
you.
last 5 years.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
That's what
Remember
I'm
that?
talking
Remember
about.
what I told you?
Yeah, I remember. I told Jean during the break, I said, Robert called before, but I don't remember what he talked about. And now when you say it, I remember.
Okay. And remember, microwaves only agitate the moisture.
That's
right.
right.
Add a little moisture, and the food will come out fresh.
That's right. Yep, we'll remember. All right. Thanks again for calling. Be blessed.
It seems like I'm the only. It seems like I'm the only one that's
I
watching.
know. I'm glad somebody out there loves me. All right. Good night. So yeah, he's an interesting fella.
Yeah.
He's got lots of tales to tell. I won't tell him how old I am. I'm not that far behind him.
I'm not that far behind him either.
But we like to pretend we're young.
Yeah, we do.
But anyway, so health coaching. Tell me about health coaching. What do they do?
Well, I told you what a coach does, right? So that's really is a lot of what I do is to work with my clients to develop the plan that they are going to be working on to lose their weight and get healthy. And getting healthy is more than just losing weight.
Yes.
So it's mental health, it's spiritual health, it's relationships, dealing with stress effectively, all those, getting enough sleep at night, all those kinds of things. So we develop a plan and work on it over the time that they're on their eating plan.
But
So
then you
I-
talk to them once a week.
I talk to them once a week, and in that call, I ask them how they're feeling, how they're doing, and what challenges they've had that week, and how they dealt with it. And sometimes the challenge had nothing to do with food, is something else, and it's not unusual for me to ask, well, what did you do to reduce your stress level when that happened? Because that's going to make you hungrier.
Right.
It's going to make you want food for relief, for comfort. So we talk about different ways to deal with stress. Or if they were had busy days and went to bed late and got up early every morning, they're not getting enough sleep. Okay, how can we fix this so what strategy can we come up with to get you more sleep? Because you're not going to lose weight if you're not getting enough sleep. So I'm just talking to them about what their challenges are and letting them come up with, I'd rather they come up with the answers if I ask the questions rather than me telling them what the answer is.
Sometimes when you ask questions, it
Right.
triggers
It's
something
asking
and you
the
can
right
think
question,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah, that that's good for me when people ask me the right questions.
Yeah, right.
Because then you look at things differently sometimes.
Yep.
And yeah,
Yep. And I do help them set realistic goals. And sometimes I get somebody that wants I ask them how much do you want to weigh, what's your goal weight? And they'll tell me that it's like way below what's healthy for them, or it's way above they're still going to be overweight if they reach that goal weight. And I'll say, okay, let's make that your weight, because you're not going to talk them out of it to begin with. Just let's after they work with you for a while and start to trust you. So I say, okay, let's make that our goal weight, but when we get closer to it, we might want to change it. See how you're feeling, how you're doing with it. Because how you feel those weights are only guidelines.
right.
They're not set in stone.
That's right.
So you might need to be a little bit lower than what the guidelines say, at a place where you look good and you feel good.
Right.
And you might need to be a little above the guidelines at a place where you look good and feel good.
Yeah. I don't know where they get those charts, those BMI charts, but they're pretty stringent.
Yeah, that's why it's more important how they look and feel than whether they're on the chart. or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we start with that, and then when they get closer, we see how they're feeling. Sometimes we're right on, sometimes we're off.
Well, a lot of people have unrealistic goals.
Yes, they do.
One of our mutual friends who was at the Business Builders today, she has unrealistic goals.
Really?
Oh, yes. And you can talk to your blue in the face, but you're not going to change her mind.
No.
So, okay, you keep striving for that goal.
Yeah.
Then she gets mad because she's not successful.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But that's basically what I do as a health coach. Sometimes we don't talk about food at all on the call because that wasn't the problem that week.
Mm-hmm. So if it's something spiritual, you can address
I
that.
would address that too, yes.
Mhm. Yeah, because we are body, soul, and spirit. We're not, single dimension.
No, we're not.
Multi-dimension.
We're not, and if you're not healthy spiritually, you're not going to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not.
I know. So you got to sleep. I'm getting better at sleeping, y'all. My alarm clock
Yes, you-
actually woke me up this morning.
Wow.
And twice in the last 2 weeks that's happened. And
That's better than you've been doing.
Yes.
You've been really having a problem with sleep.
Yes, so I'm very grateful for that. There's a lot of things that are starting to happen for the better.
That's good.
The stressors that I've been under are starting to, some of them are starting to ease, so that's a good thing. But you got to keep on keeping on. Not much else you can do. But, so what are you cooking for Easter? Are you cooking or is somebody cooking for you?
Elsie's cooking.
Elsa's cooking.
My sister-in-law, yeah.
What does she make?
I don't know. I think she's going to make lamb.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's what my brother likes to have on Thanksgiving. On Easter is lamb.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
lamb,
Bob likes
lamb with
lamb.
mint jelly.
Yeah, Bob likes
He
lamb.
likes
I'm
lamb,
not.
yeah.
I'm not big.
I
on
remember
lamb.
you saying you weren't big on lamb.
Yeah. I mean, I can eat it if it's presented to me. I will eat it, small amount of it. I mean, I would never, make my hostess feel uncomfortable.
Mm.
But I would have a lot of mint jelly and a little bit of meat.
Mask the taste. A little
Yeah.
bit of meat with your mint jelly, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'll have a little bit of meat with my mint
Yeah.
jelly. That's exactly right. So, yeah, I don't know. What is a traditional? Lamb is pretty traditional.
Lamb and ham are usually
the traditional ones for
yeah.
Easter. Yeah. Well,
Well, you were talking about. I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say.
That's 'cause we're old.
You were talking about what weight was good for people.
Mm-hmm.
I ask my clients usually what is it that you want to look like and feel like when you reach your healthy weight?
Mm-hmm.
What's that look like to you? I asked somebody that today. He said, "I want to look like me." What does that mean?
okay.
He said, "I don't look like me now."
Oh.
So tell me what me looks like.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and he said, for me, it's not so much what I look like, but how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. It's not so much that I don't look like myself, but I don't feel like myself.
Mm.
And I want to feel like myself again. And so that's where how we're going to measure how you're feeling each week. Are you feeling more like yourself or not? Because that's what's important to him.
Mm-hmm.
Not what he weighs, but how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more important to me too than.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he goes. He's doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah, but that's.
Wants to feel like him,
I want to feel like me. Yeah. I get some weird answers sometimes.
huh?
I was like, what? You're
So-
not 16 anymore.
No. So the Rotary just celebrated 100 years. Tell
100
us about
years.
that.
Yeah, the Rocky Mountain Rotary Club. There's actually there's two clubs. We have the National Rocky Mountain Club and the Rocky Mountain Club. And
Which one do you
The Rocky
go
Mountain
to?
Club is the one that's got 100 years.
Is that the one you?
That's the one I'm a member of. Yeah.
Okay,
And then we have the new satellite club from that Rocky Mountain Club in Red Oak.
Right.
So one day that will become a third Rotary Club in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's their main goal? What's their focus?
It's the motto is service above self. So we're here to serve the community.
Mm-hmm.
We take projects. Our project for this 100 year is 100 beds for 100 kids.
Oh,
So we're working with Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
yes.
They make beds for children in Rocky Mount who don't have any beds. And these are not kids that want a better bed, you know, or
Right, they
a different
want a
bed.
bed.
They're sleeping on the floor.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they want a bed.
I was shocked when that man came and talked to us. Well, I
Yeah.
know that man. I've known him for a long time, but I had no idea there was so much poverty
Right.
in Rocky Mount that people didn't have a bed for their children.
That's right. And having a bed's so important to the health of a child. It's not safe to sleep on the floor, you know, and it's not healthy to sleep on the floor. And on a regular basis, you know, sleepovers or something like that's one thing, but for every night.
Right, right.
But it also it's not good for their self-esteem. They have no spot that's theirs.
Right.
You know, so I mean, think about it. When you go to bed at night, this is my bed. This is my spot for the night. You know, this is my place. And when you're sad or something and you want to go, you know, off and just be by yourself,
Right, you can.
Where do you go if you're sleeping on the kitchen floor?
Yeah.
You know, you can't go anywhere that's your place. So they giving them a bed gives them a place that's theirs and gives them some self-esteem.
Right.
And they do better in school when they have a bed. You know, it's just everything's better when they have a bed of their own. And it's so cool because this Sleep in Heavenly Peace has, they've got it down to a science. We're going to make 100 beds in one day, in 2 shifts, 50 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon. And we're asking anybody that wants to join us in making the beds. So we're raising the money. It's $75 per bed. So anybody that wants to buy a bed can buy a bed, you know, and we'll put that bed together. And they then take that bed. They don't put it together, but when we're making the bed at the shop, we're making the parts for the bed.
Right.
And then we put the bed together at the house. And we make an appointment, or they make an appointment with the family and say, get the space cleaned out that you're going to put the bed in. You know, so we don't have to clean it out when we get there. And they call ahead of time, say, we're coming today, make sure it's cleaned out. And they will actually let the child help with making the bed. You know, they get that little drill, you know, in his hand,
Yeah.
and somebody's got their hands over his hands, and you can see. I've seen videos of them, the kids just beaming, you know,
I
making my
know,
own bed,
I
you know,
know.
and which helps with their self-esteem too. This is my bed, and I helped make it, you know, and then they put a mattress on it, and sheets, and a bedspread, and a pillow and pillowcase, and kid gets on the bed, and it's like you can just see them. They are just so
Yeah, it's really
excited.
heartwarming.
Yeah, it's heartwarming to see them and with their own bed. So
That's called
what-
Sleep in Heavenly Peace,
Yeah.
which makes me think of Christmas. But
It does, yeah.
but it's
it's actually a national organization, and we just have
yeah.
a chapter here.
yeah, yeah.
So they've got it down to a science, putting it together,
Yeah.
and they deliver every week. They deliver beds to.
I know
people.
there's one in Durham. He talked about the one in Durham.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's one in Raleigh too. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know, but probably is. But for this year. That's a big project this year is to get that 100 beds. So
That's
so
$7,500.
it is. That's 100 people. 100 people giving a bed to a child in Rocky Mount. That's doable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100 people buy a bed. We're gonna have 75 beds. I'm gonna have 100 beds. $7,500.
That's awesome.
So that's our big project for this year. But our other big project has been for the last I don't know how many years now is Tackle the Tar. And with that, we raise money for scholarships for the 3 colleges in the area, the 2 community colleges, Edgecombe and Nash, and for Wesleyan, and the local students. So it's local students at local colleges that we give scholarships to. And we've, over the last 5 years, given $400,000 in scholarships.
Oh wow,
to
that's a
Tackle
lot
the
of
Tar.
money.
Yeah.
So Tackle the Tar, is that a race?
It is a race, and it's I don't know what you call it, but it's an official race. So people that do races and gather points and stuff like that around the country, we're on that circuit. So we have people that come here to Rocky Mount. It's good for the economy because we have people coming from Hawaii and
Wow.
places like that
Yeah.
to run the
Running is a
yeah,
big
it is
thing.
a big thing. But we do have the children's race. You know, they don't have to run, or they can. You know, and you really don't have to run it. You can walk it. Nobody makes you run, but it's a we call it play in the mud. Yeah, play in the mud and send a kid to school.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of mud holes you have to walk through and crawl through, and one of them has tires across it, and it's filled with water. It's muddy water, of course, and you have to actually go under the tires in the water, put your whole body.
I'm gonna
under
have
it,
to go
and
watch
come
them
up-
this
yeah.
year.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah,
and then they have
it's
things,
coming
these
up, isn't
walls
it?
that you, it's coming up in May, I think. April,
think
I think
so.
it's May. And you have to climb up this wall and come down the other side, and they got these
So they've got obstacle courses.
obstacle, it's an obstacle course. It is an obstacle course. You're not just running, you're doing the obstacle
The
course.
run would be enough obstacle
And then they
for
have the
me.
fire truck at the end with the hose to
Hose you
hose
down.
you down and get all the mud off you.
Oh my gosh.
They have one side for women and one side for
I
men.
want to be at the end and watch them get hosed
Get the hose off.
Yeah, that would
yeah,
be fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
All right.
It is fun, yeah.
It's time to say goodnight. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to have a special guest next week, too. I'm really excited about this. Something new and different coming into town
Yes.
that's going to enhance your health in a way that we haven't heard of before.
I'm excited about that.
It's a new and upcoming way of, it's been around for a while, but it's new and upcoming, especially here. So y'all have a great evening. Stay tuned for our Rocky Mount buddy. He knows it all about Rocky Mount anyway. Probably that's it. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Anyway, he'll be here after these words from our sponsors. Have a great night. Thanks, Jean, for
You're
coming.
welcome.
Good night.
Good night.